Good morning, welcome to blog number 7. This morning I'm headed towards the city of Saumur, which is about an hour or so from where I live in the Loire Valley. Saumur is famous for its gorgeous shadow that sits on top of a hill overlooking the city. And if you catch it right and the Loire is nice and still, you get the whole of the city and the shadow reflecting in the river. It's somewhere I've been to a few times before. I've never been here at dawn though, so what I'm going to do is hopefully capture what it is I've pre-visualized in my head. And as well as Saumur, I'm going to be looking at some of the vineyards that are to the south of the city of Saumur, as well as at the end of the day I'm going to be going to the city of Chinon to capture its chateau, its vineyards and a few other things in between times. So let's get on with the day. I've arrived in the city of Saumur, and behind me you can see the River Loire. There's a lot of mist that's swirling around at the moment. The shadow keeps appearing and then disappearing, so up on the top of the hill behind me you can see, as I said, the Château de Saumur. There's a lot of colour up in the sky at the moment. There's a nice pink dawn going on. Hopefully enough of that mist is going to burn off and I'm going to get exactly what it is that I want. But was it worth getting up? Certainly worth getting up. It's always worth getting up if you keep an eye on what it is and where it is that you're going, the weather forecast. And took a chance this morning to come to this particular place, as I was going to go somewhere else. So I do think it's going to work out really nicely. So let's get on with the job in hand and let's see what we can get. What I've done is I've turned my camera about 45 degrees or so, and it's now pointing towards the bridge going over the River Loire towards the city centre of Saumur. I can see the Château de Saumur on top of the hill, but it's not a lot at all. The sun isn't actually over the horizon yet, but it should be in a few minutes or so. Maybe when the sun comes over it's going to burn more of this mist off and I can actually get what it is that I'm after. Now behind me you might be able to see there's a lot of mist. A lot of that mist that is burning off. As you can see, it unfortunately is one of those very frustrating things that we have. You can never really predict how it's going to work out this morning, and it was actually quite difficult driving here with a lot of mist burning off the Loire and coming onto the road to Saumur. But there you go, that's the view that it's an alternative view. It's okay, it's not really what I said, it's not really what I was after, but to make the best of the situation that I do have. So from here I'm probably going to go up to, I might go up to the chateau itself and see what I can get overlooking the city, and then from here, there's a car just going past there, and then so hopefully I can go up to the chateau, and then from there I can look down on the city with maybe a bit of mist over the city itself, and then from there I think I'm going to go into the vineyards up around the back in the south of the city of Saumur. So until then I'm going to get on with my job. After I finished on the banks of the Loire in Saumur, I went up to the chateau to see if there was anything worth doing up around there. Now I know there are one or two views around the chateau itself, but the problem at the moment is the chateau is under renovation, which you can't really see from the position I was on, that I was at first light this morning. So after there I went up into the vineyards and was hoping to record some things up around there. But as soon as I got up there I remembered why it is that I don't go back to those particular vineyards very often. Now that is just because to the east of where I am, just this way, is the nuclear power plant at Chinon. And because of that there are loads and loads of electricity pylons everywhere, and unfortunately a lot of those pylons are skirting around the landscape up at the vineyards up at the back there. So that's a little bit frustrating. Now what I have done though is I've come to a particular view that I know about, but I haven't ever had the opportunity to come down to. Now across the River Loire there is the Château de Montserrat and the village of Montserrat, and it's another beau village de France. And just next to it as well there's another beau village de France which is called Saint-Martin, which is at the confluence of the Loire and the River Vienne. It's a beautiful little place to come to, and thankfully there's not too many electricity pylons which are in the way. In fact, there's probably just one as far as I can see, which might be just about ruining the view, but that's okay. No, it's not. For me, it's not really too much of a problem. So, you know, that's a particular view that I know about. What am I going to do now? I actually want to check out another view from Montserrat, which is just over the other side where the chateau is. There's a view that I'm aware of, and I haven't, again, had an opportunity to go and find it. So I'm just going to go and check that out, and then I'm not sure what we're going to be up to next. I know the end of the day is Chinon, but between now and then, apart from checking that out, not sure yet, so just bear with me. Now, one of the things that I forgot to do this morning was tell you about a little competition that I'm running. At the end of the last vlog that I did, people were saying, "Where is that place? You didn't tell us." No, I didn't tell you, and that's because I thought I'd just have a little fun and see if people can guess where it is. So I thought what I would do is run a little competition to see who can guess the name of the place that I was last in vlog number 6 when I was discovering the Sarthe. And the person that I pull out of the hat at the end of the day, I want all of the entries in by the end of the 1st of March 2017, and the person that I pull out of the hat in the next vlog, they're going to get an A4 print of the last place that I was visiting in vlog number 6, discovering the Sarthe. So there's 3 clues to help you discover this little place. Clue number 1 is it's in the department of Mayenne, which is spelled M-A-Y-E-N-N-E. Clue number 2 is it's a beau village de France. And clue number 3 is there are 2 words to the particular village. Each word begins with an S. If you can correctly guess from all 3 of those clues where it is, the person that I pull out the hat will receive an A4 print in the post, or depending on where they live, maybe even hand delivered if it's close to where I'll be in the next few weeks or so. So if you let me know by the end of play of the 1st of March 2017, then the person I pull out the hat, you're going to get that print. You will of course have seen when I was announcing the competition that back there there's another view. This is another of my recce shots of the day. Having just come from Montserrat and being allowed to photograph the shadow from private property, I was given access there to a particular view of the shadow, which is quite nice. But this is another view that's just down the road. This is a place called Fontevraud, and the building you can see back there is the Royal Abbey, and it's a huge abbey actually. It covers quite a lot of ground. There's probably more than you can see with a camera. And a local told me about a particular place of a panoramic view. That particular panoramic view isn't the best, as it's mostly hidden by trees. Although you're quite close to the abbey, there's no way of actually getting any clear view. But on my way of trying to discover what might else be around here, of what else there might be around here, there's another local that told me about another view. So I've got this other view of the abbey, which I found. So I'm very grateful to be able to have spoken to this local who told me about this place. And it is one of those good things about speaking another language, is that if you speak to the locals in their own language, you're going to get all sorts of information that a lot of other people are not going to get. So you know, it's invaluable information. So what I'm going to do is have another bit of a scout around and see if there's any other particular angles of this place. Then I'm going to go and have some lunch, and then go on to my next location this afternoon. Now it might be that that ends up in the vlog. It might be that the end of the day of vlog Chinon ends up in the film, but we shall see. It depends what it is that I find. But the next place is probably going to be Château de Brezé, and after that not sure. So but you know, stay tuned and you'll find out. This afternoon I've been on the hunt for a typical French rural scene, one of a small village and vineyards, something that I can sort of look at and think that'll look good on a nice misty morning, maybe the autumn mist, maybe early springtime. And I found something just by chance, just by sort of driving around and just keeping my eye on the landscaping, seeing what was around. So I came across this, just sort of drove up a road, and I see this nice winding road behind me that leads towards the church steeple. Now obviously at the moment the light is very, very harsh,
and it's not something that I would really want to just go, yep, that's the kind of final shot. This is something that is definitely, I'm going to have to note where I am, and I'm going to have to come back probably about 6 months time, I would say, just to get the optimum kind of image that I'm after here. So it might be a while before you see a final image from this place. Where is this place? That is a little mystery that I'm just going to leave to your own imaginations. Welcome to the city of Chinon. Here on the banks of the river Vienne is the fortress of Chinon up on the hill. It is an absolutely immense castle. It's massive and it just begs to be photographed. The river Vienne is almost always guaranteed to give you a reflection of the castle in the river. I've been here quite a few times now, and every time I've been here the castle's been reflecting in the river. It's a stunning piece of architecture up there on the hill. And if you're ever in the Loire Valley, you should really come to Chinon to photograph this castle, as it just begs to be photographed. As the sun sets on the city of Chinon, let's just give you a quick rundown of what it is that I've got here. I have employed my Canon 6D body with a Canon 28-70 hour lens. It seems to be my workhorse kit at the moment. There's my Heliopan 105mm polarizer on the front. There's no ND grad, it doesn't need it. The dynamic range of the 6D is enough to keep everything as I need it to. The Heliopan polarizer, that's basically cutting out any reflections from the river Vienne and also giving the sky a nice bit of pep there, as the sun is about 90 degrees to me. Composition wise, not much to say really. There's a few distracting elements. Most of it for me is the traffic that passes by, as I can basically, if I fire off an exposure, I might see like a roof of a car on a long exposure. Outside of that, it was just a case of getting rid of any distracting elements in any of the surrounding buildings here and firing off an image, and that's pretty much one of the things that you can do here with the Château de Chinon reflecting in the river Vienne. Where do I go from here? Will there be a sunset? Of course there's going to be a sunset. It's not going to be an interesting sunset. Behind the chateau there are some vineyards, so I'm going to quickly pack up and see if it's actually worth going up to those vineyards and seeing if there might be any colour in the sky as the sun goes down and getting any interesting shots. Apart from that, see you in a minute. So this was my final shot of the day, the vineyards overlooking the Château de Chinon. As you can see, there's been some quite nice colour for sunset, so I'm very pleased with what I do have. I've got two different compositions, one here and one just over to my left shoulder, and different setup. What I am going to say is thank you again to everybody that has subscribed over the last couple of weeks since vlog number 6 when I was exploring the Sarthe. I'm very grateful to everybody that keeps subscribing, and I'm also grateful to those people that keep commenting and enjoying the work that I'm doing. It's very appreciated and I really can't thank you all enough. Please keep watching and I shall see you again next week, and don't forget that competition, of course, where you can win a print of the final image that I took when I was exploring the Sarthe. So until then, I shall see you next week.